Welcome to the first premiere episode of G.L.O.W Friday Night Fireside Chats, where we're just going to talk about different topics, and it's going to be interactive because I'm going to ask your opinion and ask you to make comments down below and let me know what you think of what, well, I'm talking about, but that you're involved in. So come on, join us, and let's get started. There's a really funny story about how I came upon the topic for tonight. As you could see by the thumbnail and the title, this is about the choices that we make in life when we get so many red flags that we just keep going ahead. Though it says danger, danger, stop, a cliff, whatever, and we just keep going. How I came upon the idea for tonight's Fireside Chat was I was driving on the freeway. Actually, I think it was in Arizona. I'm not sure. You know, when you drive so much and travel so much, you forget what happens. But I saw this sign on the freeway. And as I was driving by and I was reading it, it said, "State prison exit, do not pick up hitchhikers." And I immediately, that's pretty clear. It's saying, hey, we're near a state prison. If there's hitchhikers, they might be people who have escaped from prison. So they're dangerous individuals. You don't want to pick them up. Is that not a clear and compelling warning? And it got me to thinking about what warnings do we get in life and have we had that we have completely ignored? And I was driving, so I passed the sign and I was going, 60 miles an hour, 65 an hour. So I flew by that sign and I thought, oh, I wish I could get a copy of that sign. So as I'm driving, I'm thinking there's got to be another sign on the other side of this exit. So I started looking in my back mirror and I'm looking in my back mirror, and sure enough, and as I pass it, I pull over to the side of the road and I hop out, and I'm thinking, okay, now how am I going to get that? And I'm trying to get a picture of that sign, and it was too far away, so I had to run across the freeway, cross the whole thing, and I don't recommend this, to get this sign. But that's a sign where there are red flags and I ignored them. But, there have been times in life where, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whether it's a situation, that something is telling me, I'm not really comfortable, this is not a good idea, but I keep proceeding forward. And so I started thinking, after I was reading that sign, why do we do that? And you know what? I called Dr. Tanya. I'm going to be introducing you to her at another time, but she's a nomad who happens to be a psychologist. So I called Dr. Tanya. I have some opinions, but I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. I don't know really the answer to this. And so I asked her, and I took some notes on what she said. But before we go there, have you ever had red flags that were so clear telling you not to proceed, and you went ahead anyhow? If you have had that, would you go on the comments and put a big Y for yes or M for me too? And just so I can see. And if you want to tell me a little bit about what those red flags were, go ahead and do that too. But anyhow, I asked Dr. Tanya, and I'm going to look at my notes so I don't forget. And one of the things that she said, for instance, in relationships, why people disregard red flags. Say you have someone who has been in relationships, and they have been either abusive, verbally, physically, or just have not been a good partner with other people, but you go ahead and get into a relationship with that person. One of the things Dr. Tanya said, she said that people disregard warnings because they want to feel special. In other words, this is what she's saying, people want to feel, including I guess me, maybe some of you, that oh, they won't do that to me. They did that to that person because that person, was either not that intelligent, not that smart, not that beautiful, whatever, not that talented. But me, I'm special, so they're going to treat me differently. Have you ever seen on TV where someone will marry someone who has been accused of murdering their first spouse, but they go ahead and marry this person? Again, pretty big red flag, but because we want to feel special. Have you ever done something that you think comes into that classification? Go ahead and put a Y for yes below there in the comments. She said it has to do with self-esteem, and we want to feel so special. Another thing Dr. Tanya said was that people don't trust their intuition, that includes me, because we have been socialized to believe that other people's opinions are more important. So even if someone is saying, oh yeah, go ahead, do it, but deep down we're saying, this isn't a good move. I shouldn't go forward on this. According to Dr. Tanya, we have been so conditioned to value other people's opinions over our own intuition that we go ahead sometime and proceed against red flags. Another thing she said, and I thought this was really interesting. Sometimes we will get involved in a situation, take a job, or get involved with a person because we don't think anything better is going to come along. And she said that has to do a lot with self-esteem, that we don't think we're good enough to either get a better job or to be involved with a person who's a better to us, and it got me to thinking. I thought about a job that I stayed at for a long time that I was miserable in, but I was getting paid well. And I thought, if I leave this, am I going to get another job paying this well? And I wonder how many of you have done that, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship. Again, put down an M for me too, if that's you. But I think that sometimes people just, now this isn't Dr. Tanya, this is just me. I think that sometimes, and I find myself, I have decided to do something, and no matter how many obstacles come in my way, I am just really stubborn. And I think sometimes I'm prideful that I just don't want to give up, because I don't want to admit that I couldn't accomplish what it was I set out to accomplish. I tell you, but again, this is, I guess, how we're built, some of us. But this is some of the things we're going to be talking about on Friday night chats. I feel like, I should have a glass of wine here so I could be taking a little sip and relaxing, although I'm going to be driving later, so I'm not. But next time, I just might have a glass of wine if I'm at a campground or boondocking and not going to be driving. But if you have any subjects or topics you want to have addressed for Friday night Fireside Chats, can you make a note down in the comments and say, let's talk about this? And what we're going to do, if you read these comments on my live tomorrow, we're going to talk about some of these things. If you want to share some things that you've been through, some red flags you have just flown through, just share them and we'll talk about them. But this is my first premiere, so I hope it'll get better. I'm a little awkward today on this, but thank you so much for joining me, and let's see how this goes. And if you like this and you want me to do more of these Friday night chats on just random topics, let me know. Thank you so much, Glowbies. May your journeys be filled with joy and blessings, and I will see you tomorrow on the live, and of course Tuesday for Out and About, Thursdays for cooking. Take care. Till next time. Bye.